Hi, I'm Sally and this is my tutorial for my hook or pencil cover with bows. For this tutorial I will be using Daisy Loom bands, and all the bands that I'm using came in my mega value pack, and I will put all the details for the product in the description box below when I finished. These bands here are the tie-dye bands, which I think are really pretty. They're quite funky, especially for sort of a pencil grip or cover or hook cover. So yeah, let's make a start. This design basically is a hook cover with bows in. That's all it is. So I will say now that the cover, the actual design for the cover without the bows, isn't my own, but the idea to put the bows in is my own, just so I'm not taking credit for anyone else's work or anything and no one's gonna get upset. So taking your loom, you will only be able to do this, you can probably do it on a monster tail as well, but you will need to have a loom where you have a gap here for it to be able to go, because obviously it's quite long, so it will need to come down below your loom. So if you've got one that's got a solid base, then you're going to struggle to do this unless it's very, very short. So as I said before, I'm using Daisy Loom bands. Oh, excuse me, my voice is going to be funny. I'm using this sort of purple colour with blue. I'll show you as I go. So I'm going to go round in a sort of off-centered square shape, and the first row, as I put them on, as you can see, I'm making in a figure of 8. Like so. Like so. Okay, so that's the sort of shape we're doing. And we won't be using any other pins other than these 4. So it's quite repetitive, so it's easy to follow and easy to do. So I'm going around again. I'm going to use the same purple colour this time. I'm going to change on the next row. So each row has 4 bands on it, like so. And then all you're going to do, as you can see, I have a hook cover on here as well. But this isn't Daisy Loom bands. This is just normal bands that I bought from a shop somewhere. I don't know what brand they are. They're just bands. And you just want to loop forward, loop over the bottom 2 bands only. So you're looping them from the outside into the centre. Okay, so you're not looping them forward. You're looping them over and into the centre on each pin, and that was only 1 band, so you should be left with 2 bands on each pin. Okay, and then push it down. I'm going to use this really nice blue, sort of a sky blue type colour here, so I'm going to use this again as a Daisy Loom band. Going just round in this sort of wonky square, I suppose it's sort of more like a diamond shape, and again I'm going to loop the bottom 2 bands over and into the centre. So if you're using 2 colours, it does make it a little bit easier because the ones you're looping are different to the ones on top. Again, pushing it down, going back, and I'm using the purple. Like so. And this is how you make a basic hook cover or pencil grip or cover. And the amount of rows you put in are dependent on how long you want it to be. And as this is going to get quite boring because I'm just doing the same thing over and over again, I won't make mine too long, but you can just carry on for as long as you want it to be. So that's entirely up to you. Okay, and you're using blue, and in a moment I'll show you how to add in the bows, which makes this hook cover slightly different to other ones. And these bands are really nice to work with, and they're scented as well, so you don't get that horrible sort of loom bandy sort of smell. That I have to say, if I'm working with them a lot, or I'm doing like a few tutorials in a row, which I do sometimes, or I'm doing a lot of design, and I do find that the smell makes me feel a bit nauseous and a bit sicky. You didn't really need to know that, but it gives you a headache and it just makes you feel not all that great. Because these are scented, you don't get that with these bands, so you can loom to your heart's content without that horrible sort of ill feeling. So again, just looping the bottom two, and once I've done this row, I will show you how to make the bows and add them in. It is really easy, it's really simple, and I'm sure that you'd probably work it out yourself. I'd just show you to make it a little bit easier for you, and as you'll see, your design will start to push through your getting used to the camera still. It will push through and come out the bottom down here. Okay, so how to make the bows. So I'm going to make double bows, and I'm using like this mint green colour, which I think will look quite nice. So because the next row I'm going to add on is blue, I'm going to take a single blue band and I'm going to place it vertically on my loom, which blends in beautifully with my loom, and you can't see it, but it's just here if you can't see. Then taking my two mint green coloured bands, I'm going to twist them in the middle so it's like a figure of 8, like this. And then I'm going to loop this first band onto itself, taking the bottom band and bringing it over, and then just pulling that band like so. So it just makes a little slip knot in the middle. You can then remove it and you will have a pretty little bow. And I'm just going to add this on as if it were one of the single bands. So it's just there like that, making sure that the bow's on the outside, obviously otherwise you're not going to be able to see it, and just going round. And that's basically all there is to it. I'll keep going for a few more rows, and I'll make another bow as well, just in case you didn't quite catch it that time. Again, I'm just looping the bottom two over and into the centre, like so. It doesn't matter which order, as long as they all get looped. Now I have a loop in the way. Sorry if you can't see. I was just looping that one, it's just the bow made it a little bit more difficult to see. Keep pushing it down. You may have to sort of encourage it to come through. Mine's got a little bit stuck, so I'm just going to give it a little bit of a helping hand. There we go. As you see, it does come out of the bottom of your loom. The bows will just squash down as you feed them through. So I'm going to add in a couple more layers, just quickly, and then I'll make another bow. So, I'm on to purple now. And that noise is my guinea pig drinking. He can be quite noisy. He features in most of my tutorials. So please try and ignore him in his noisy little drinking ways. Just make sure your bow doesn't get caught up as you're adding in the bands. So just hold it out of the way. Okay. So my bow's just there. And I'm going to loop up again. Just put some space between the two bows. You can put them as close together as you want. You can add in as many as you want. It's entirely your choice. You can be quite creative with this and with the patterns that you're using as well. Okay, I'm just going to pull it through, push the bands down again. I'm going to put another row of blue on, and then I'll make another bow to add into the purple row. And I'll show you how to close it off. Because I'm sure that you've got the gist of what you have to do by now to make a hook cover. So again, I'm just looping up the bottom two and over and into the centre. And to be honest, I'm sure that most people already know how to do this bit to make a hook cover. But just in case you don't. Right, as I said before, I'm going to make another bow. So as my next row is going to be purple, I'm going to take a single purple band and add it vertically in the centre of my loom. So we're working just here, taking two, taking two of my mint coloured ones, figure of 8 in the middle, looping the vertical band forward, up and over, and taking the bottom band on that pin and looping it over the top and letting go, taking the band that is still on the pin and giving it a tug. Another good thing about these bands is they don't break. Obviously if you cut them with scissors or something they would break. I don't think there are any bands out there that are scissor proof, but just working with them normally, they don't break. They're really good, they're really strong. So for something that's going to get used a lot, like a hook cover or a pencil grip or whatever you're going to use this for, it's really good. Good durable bands. And again, I'm just going to do this one, and then I'm going to add in one more row, and then I will show you how to close it off. I'm having to hold it now because obviously it's coming out the bottom, so it's not going to sit flat. Just minding the bow. Just pushing it down again, pulling it through. So, as I said, one more layer of blue. And I'm going to make sure this is actually on camera. Okay. Bottom two into the centre. My hook's a bit small for this grip that I've made on this one. My other hook, it fits perfectly. And I've made these for pencils as well, and they do fit. Just like a normal standard pencil. Right, now, when I watched the tutorial on how to make a pencil grip, and it showed how to close it off, to be honest, I can't actually remember what it said. So, I do this my way. So, I move. This could be the way that you're meant to do it, to be honest. I really cannot remember. So we're just going to go with it. So I'm going to move the bands on these two pins onto these two pins, so I'm sort of flipping it over. So I'm just going to pull this up and hook it over. I just don't want it to come off of the hook. There we go. Same with these. And like that. So you've got the bands. There's no bands on these two pins anymore. They're just both on here. And then I'm going to remove this from my loom by placing all the bands on my hook pulling it through. There's your hook cover with the bows. Ta-da! And then just take whichever colour band you wish. I'm going to use blue just so it blends in with this bit here. Place the band over the end of your hook and onto your finger, and you want to slide the whole lot onto here. You may find it easier if you do struggle with hook work, which I'm sure there are people that do. You can do one band at a time, so you can just do it like this, which is probably the easiest way of doing it, to be honest. I'm going to make it look easy and hopefully not mess this up and just slide the whole lot on. Okay. I'm then going to make a slip knot and tighten it, and you have a little loop and it looks a bit weird. You have two choices of things you can do with this loop, unless you can think of any more. You can either wrap it around, which is generally what I do. So you can just take your band and wrap it around the end. It just unravelled itself, just to make things a little bit more difficult. Quite fiddly to do, but it is doable because I do it with all of my hook covers. There we go. So you can either wrap it around like that, which means you get this sort of little bit at the top, or you can hide it within the hook cover. So you can just take your hook and just sort of feed it through. You just put your hook through, take the band, end of your hook, and just thread it through, and just repeat that until it's completely hidden. So just like take two bands on your hook and pull through, and just repeat that until it's completely hidden. I'm just going to do it once more. So just going through two of the bands. That's only one of the bands, but taking the tying off band on your hook, just pulling through it, and you just repeat that until it is all just completely hidden. So the choice is up to you. Finish that off. So there we go. You can just slide your hook straight in and it will just sit on the end. If you want it to just sort of sit lower on your hook or on your pencil, you can just push it straight through and it will just come out at the end. So if you want it to sit on the end, it will just sit on the end of your pencil or like a pencil topper, or it will, if you're careful, slide all the way through if you want to use it further down as a grip. So, or you can do it the full length of your hook or of your pencil. So there we go. One pencil topper, hook cover, pencil grip. We use for lots of different things. So there we go. So I hope you've enjoyed making this and you like your finished result. Please hit like and comment. Let me know what you think of the idea with the bows. Not so much the design, but the idea with the bows. And of my tutorial. Let me know if you think the camera's better. I think it's better. And hit subscribe to be notified when I bring out new tutorials. As I said, I used Daisy Loom bands for this tutorial, and I will put all the details and the links and everything for the product in the description box below, so you can check that out for yourself. I am on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, and I will put all of the details for those in the description box below as well. It's going to be a very full description box. So there we go. One hook cover, pencil grip, doodah, whatever, with bows. So thanks for watching. and I'll see you next time. Bye.